Hello everybody and welcome to part 7A of What If Midoriya Was the Shield Hero. I'm saying 7A because this video was recorded twice and I was extremely unhappy with the results of the first script, so redid everything. Well, I kept some parts in, but I redid the main plotting of everything. That said, please check out my Discord in the description below since I recently changed stuff there, and there you can talk to me. Hit that like button, subscribe, do everything that YouTube wants you to do, and before all, enjoy the video after that intro. After going around the country, helping where they can, and completing some quests for the Adventurers Guild, Midoriya then went back to the castle town, where he got a quest to transport some medicine to a village that's starting to get infected by a plague caused by a dragon's corpse. Midoriya and his party leave the Adventurers Guild, intent on going to help the people of Murso village with their problem. When they leave the Adventurers Guild building, they are approached by a group of 3 knights and 2 mages. Midoriya tells his party to just ignore them and keep going. "Sir Shield Hero, please wait," says one of them as they approach. "What is it this time?" asks Midoriya, turning around. "What are you going to accuse me of now?" It's not like that, Sir Hero," Ake, the head of the little group, says. "We just want to talk. We actually have a request." Midoriya looks around, seeing a lot of eyes on them. He decides to head back inside. He requests a private room to talk in, and they go there. They enter the room and sit down around a table. "So you had a request?" asks Midoriya. "What do you want exactly?" Well, please, let us accompany you, Shield Hero, at least during the waves," Ake manages to say. "We were deeply touched by your courage and selflessness when you fought in the last wave. Everyone here wants nothing but to support you in your tireless quest." "Please don't call me Shield Hero in here. I'm kinda trying to avoid people finding out so that I can help out more," Midoriya explains. "But why would you want to join me? Why not ask one of the other heroes like Itsuki or Ren or even Motoyasu? And if it's about the waves, you can just fight them on your own. You don't need me." You see, Sir Midoriya, we were impressed by how you fought during the waves. We came to realize that if anyone was fighting to protect others, it was you. I myself also hail from Loot Village, and you helped save my family and many friends that day. As a group, we'd agreed we'd look for you next time you were in the capital, and would ask you, the boy says. Midoriya starts thinking it over. "What do you think, Denki?" asks Midoriya. "What's going on?" asks Denki, turning his head. He was a bit focused on eating a sandwich that one of the knights gave him. "They seem friendly to me. One of them even gave me this," he says, taking another bite. "They do seem to be genuine," says Raftalia. Midoriya thinks it over for a moment and says, "You can fight with me during the waves, but I'm going to need 3 favors." "We'll do the best we can," answers Ake. "What are your requests?" "First, I need to be able to trust you, so I'll take some of you with me on my next mission. This will also help train you for the waves, so win-win. I'll be taking 1 mage and 2 knights. This will allow me to get a sense of who you are and if I can trust you. I'd like to be able to already, but considering what has happened up to this point," Midoriya says, thinking back on his experiences in this world. "The second request is for those who stay behind. I want you to gather information for where I can get a magic stone, if at all possible. The type needed for a magic spinning wheel." "That seems accomplishable," answers the demi-human mage of the group. "What's the third request?" "This one is a bit more tricky. I want to ask if there's any way for you to get me a class upgrade for my companions," Midoriya requests. "That may be hard, Sir Hero. The church has control of the hourglass, and they have banned anybody who's on friendly terms with you to use it. I do apologize, but I don't think we can accomplish that request," Ake says. "It will also take us a bit of time to get the preparations to join you on your adventure. Where are you planning on going? To Murso village. They need some help over there. They're mainly asking for some medicine since about a week ago an epidemic started over there. But I want to see if there's more I can do, says Midoriya, comforting the knight's conscience. I do have to ask, what level are you guys anyway? Asks Midoriya. I'm 26, the rest of us are 25, 25, 22, and 21, answers Ache. Okay, I'll take the strongest ones among you with me. We'll level up a bit more on the way. Do what you have to do to be able to go. We leave tomorrow, says Midoriya. Thank you very much, Sir Hero, they say before leaving. I guess we're staying in town a little longer, says Midoriya after they leave. Midoriya, I'm hungry, says Denki. Really? You just ate that sandwich, says Midoriya. Denki's stomach rumbles. Well, we have to gather some herbs and medicines anyway, so we can probably hunt some food too, says Midoriya. They head into the woods to gather some extra materials. Midoriya then sets the shield to autocraft medicines. The next day, not wearing their equipment, the group of 2 knights and 1 mage approach Midoriya. What happened? Where's your equipment? Asks Midoriya while preparing the carriage. I'm sorry, Sir Hero, says Camilla, the demi-human mage of the group. We were able to acquire permission to accompany you, but we are considered off-duty and thus not allowed to bring our equipment. Midoriya thinks it over for a moment and says, Should be fine. I know where we can get some temporary equipment. Midoriya takes the 3 of them to Erhard's shop. There they buy some cheapish equipment that should serve its purpose, but also with a good sellback price. After they have everything they need, they head east. On the way to the village, they help out whoever they find in need of it. They find a woman that was on the way to the hospital, and Raphtalia helps her give birth. They find a couple travelers in trouble with some monsters, so they fight them off. They use the time on the road to also level up a bit, at least the knights, since Midoriya and company are already maxed out. They spend 2 days traveling to the village. The night before they arrive at Murso village, they set up camp and Midoriya cooks for the group. Everyone goes to bed with a full stomach. Midoriya wakes up in the dreamscape. He looks around, noticing that aside from a couple spots in his body, he's mostly made of smoke. He looks around, spotting a beautiful woman with a tough-looking face on his right. Behind her are 5 others. Who are these people? Wonders Midoriya. He gets a better look in the one that's furthest away from him, kinda recognizing him. Is that All Might? He wonders. Midoriya is reminded of the sports festival when he previously saw the vestiges. His attention is drawn in front of him, where the first user is battling All for One. Midoriya keeps watching as One for All shows him its origins. Throughout these scenes, however, there is some sort of interference. The visions change every once in a while to show past heroes fighting the waves of catastrophe and other enemies that are slightly hazy, so Midoriya can't really make them out. The images change from the past of One for All to that of the Shield. From the visions of One for All, he sees enough to understand how All for One rose to power, but those of the Shield are more random. He doesn't manage to make much of it or understand much of anything. The only thing he really makes out is an image of 2 cardinal heroes fighting someone with their parties. Among the party members, Midoriya manages to recognize a little girl with silver hair with thin streaks of light blue, cut in a short bob with 2 what look like cowlicks on her head. She's wearing a white gothic-style dress, but aside from a giant turtle and this, that's all he manages to make out. The visions go back to those of One for All, just as All for One gives his little brother a quirk. So you are the 9th, says the first user. He's talking to me, Midoriya thinks. The first user continues. Sorry, we did the best we could. It's hard to show you. Too much interference. We've struggled just so you can still use us in this new world. I wanted to show you more, but am incapable. The first user is then replaced by a ball of light for a moment as the surrounding area becomes a grass field. The ball of light becomes a man wearing a shield, but before he can say anything, the man turns back into the first user again. Sorry, it's hard to show you. You are able to use more of our power at least, up to 45%. We've long since passed the point of singularity. But don't worry, even in this world you aren't alone, the first user says, reaching out to Midoriya. Midoriya reaches back, their hands touch. Just then, "Midoriya!" shouts Raphtalia. "Midoriya, are you alright?" Midoriya wakes up, finding himself pinned down to the ground by his allies. He looks around, spotting one of them laying by a tree. "What happened?" asks Midoriya, confused as he wakes up. "You went crazy, Sir Hero. You just started moving around at incredible speeds, breaking stuff. The noise was attracting monsters, so we had to restrain you. In the process, you did throw Camilla at the tree," says Ache. "Were you having a nightmare?" asks Raphtalia, concerned for her friend as the group gets off him. "I don't know," answers Midoriya, looking at his scarred hand. "It was more of a vision. It was a really strange experience. Two different powers vying for control, both wanting to show me something important." They decide to go back to sleep, needing their rest. The next day, the group resumes their journey, heading to Murso village. They arrive around midday. As they enter town, the villagers that are out and about recognize the Filolio pulling the cart and swarm the cart, excited as to whom has come to their village. "It's Saint Deku!" they say as Midoriya exits the wagon. "Since when are people calling me Saint?" asks Midoriya, confused. "You are him, are you not?" asks one of the villagers. "Others also call you the Saint of the Heavenly Fowl or the Saint of the Bird God. You are the adventurer who rides the cart, looking for people to help, are you not?" "I am," confirms Midoriya, still unsure on the situation. "Then you come at a most fortunate time, Saint Deku. I'm afraid our little village is slowly becoming ill," says the village doctor, coming after he heard who arrived. "I've heard your request and brought as many supplies as possible. Show me to your sick, I'll do what I can," Midoriya says. The doctor leads Midoriya and his party to the church, which has been repurposed in order to treat the sick. While they work, Midoriya asks what the origins of the plague are. The doctor explains that he is not completely sure, but has an educated guess. He explains how 2 weeks ago the sword hero came to the lands and fought and defeated a dragon that nested in the mountains. This feat helped the village flourish for a bit, but that 5 days ago adventurers started getting sick. More and more followed as the disease caused by the rotting dragon infected more and more villagers. No one has died so far, but they fear the worst. Midoriya treats the symptoms of everyone there, managing to heal them for the time being, mainly thanks to his shield's buff. After, he heads to a private room to talk strategy with his allies. The doctor enters the room before anything serious can be discussed and says, "Thank you very much, Saint Deku. You have been a great help. Our medicines ran out 2 days ago and I feared that I could not treat the people." "I haven't done much," says Midoriya. "If that corpse stays there, then I'm afraid there's nothing that can be done to really save the people in this area. We can alleviate the symptoms, yeah, but if the origin of the disease stays, then there's nothing that can be done." "Don't say that, Sir, Deku," says Blake, one of the juvenile knights along for his mission. "I'm sure there's something that can be done." "I'm afraid you are absolutely right," says the doctor. "We have no way of stopping the disease from spreading. All we can do is either leave or treat the sick, but most people don't want to abandon their homes." "Are there any adventurers that are still around?" asks Midoriya. "Earlier you told me that they came to see the dragon's corpse." "No. Unfortunately, they all left after the epidemic started. The only ones still around are the sick ones," the doctor answers. "Too bad then. We'll have to make this work just us," says Midoriya to his party. He turns to the doctor and says, "Listen, I don't want to be impolite or say anything, but you still owe me payment for the medicine." "Oh, right! That's the reason I came, to give you this," he says while pulling out a sack of money. "Thank you, but I cannot accept. With the state that your village is in, you'll need the money," says Midoriya. "I was thinking of you giving me the equivalent in supplies." The villagers give him what he asks for, and with the materials at hand, he makes a couple small makeshift masks. Not very effective ones, but they should help a little bit. He also gets supplies like pickaxes and wood in order to burn the dragon's corpse. I really should learn to craft from someone, thinks Midoriya while making the masks. I was going for the rebreather in my costume or something similar, but this is the closest I can make. Good thing we learned about filters in class, otherwise we'd be in a bit of a pickle. The next day they head out into the mountains. While going towards where the dragon corpse is, they come across a group of monsters. The knights get ready to jump out of the wagon, but Midoriya stops them, explaining that the masks will only stop the sickness for a limited time, so they can't waste it fighting. He orders Denki to keep going, and he obliges, using a wind magic to push all the enemies out of the way, even defeating a couple of the monsters. Midoriya equips the Chimera Viper Shield to help against the sickness. They reach the clearing with the dragon's final resting place and start unpacking the supplies in order to tear it apart. They grab the necessities to carry and go to inspect the corpse. Listen up guys, we're at the epicenter of the sickening air. The mask should help filter out the air, but if you feel you can't keep going, go back to the carriage and rest, says Midoriya. He turns to Raftalia and says, that goes especially for you, considering your health in the past. I'll be fine, says Raftalia stubbornly. As they approach the dragon, Denki stays in his filial form, eating some treats he has for when he's hungry. While looking at the dragon's corpse, he gets some weird sense of satisfaction. It's bigger than I expected, says Midoriya as they approach. We should probably get started. Right, says Ache. As they get closer to the corpse starts slowly moving a bit, even healing. Fueled by nothing but rage, the dragon zombie growls at the sky. Sir Hero, we left our weapons at the carriage, says Blake. Go then, grab what you need, says Midoriya. Get ready and then come to assist. Right, says Ache as the group runs to get their equipment. Denki's eyes fill with anger and he runs at the dragon, jumping into the air and shouting, Zweit Thunder Slash! A blade of lightning flies towards the dragon, hitting it in the face. Airstrike Shield, shouts Midoriya, giving Denki some leverage. Denki lands on it and jumps off, slicing at the dragon with his claws. The dragon growls and prepares to attack. Shooting Star Shield, shouts Midoriya, an energy barrier appearing around him. Everyone behind me, he orders. The juvenile knights that just entered the battlefield, as well as Denki and Raftalia, obey, jumping behind Midoriya for their own protection. The dragon shoots poison gas at the group, but Midoriya's skill manages to keep the attack away, not even letting the gas in. As soon as the attack stops, Denki jumps off the barrier and runs at the dragon, shooting a couple air slashes and a tornado while getting closer. Denki, don't go alone, advises Midoriya. Ache, Blake, Raftalia, go help him. Do what you can, Midoriya orders. Right, says Raftalia, pulling her sword from its sheath and running at the dragon zombie. You have fire and earth magic, right? Any support spells? Midoriya asks, turning to the mage. Camilla nods. Right then, let's use them, says Midoriya. In unison they both say, By the source of all power, I order thee. Decipher the laws of nature and strengthen my target. First guard, shouts Midoriya. Zweit burning spirit, shouts Camilla. They both select the whole party as a target, strengthening everyone in order to make the fight easier. Midoriya activates One for All to 20%, prepares to attack. He zooms at the dragon, hitting him with a St. Louis smash. The hit is potent enough to push the dragon back slightly, but not enough to take away too much health. He lands on the ground, ordering, Blake, go assist Camilla in case the dragon attacks her. Camilla, you use fire magic to weaken him from a distance. Okay, they both shout as Camilla prepares a fire blast and Blake runs back to assist her. Midoriya, realizing how little damage the 20% hit did, powers up to 30%. Thanks to the shield's defensive abilities, I can power up to 30% without hurting myself. I can do 45 for a bit, but not for long, and it'll end up hurting me, Midoriya thinks to himself while jumping back, hitting the air with a St. Louis smash, using the air pressure as an attack. Hey look, Midoriya's using wind magic too, says Denki, not having seen Midoriya do that before. Raphtalia charges with Denki at the dragon, slicing at him just as Midoriya's air attack hits, but not having much of an effect, they land back on the ground. Denki uses his lightning magic to hit the dragon, causing him to take a step back. "Airstrike shield!" shouts Midoriya as he falls from the sky. A shield materializes under him, which he uses as a jumping off platform. He jumps off it, going at the dragon at immense speeds. He prepares the shield while pushing One for All to 45%. Hits the dragon in the throat with the shield, breaking off some of the plating and going kinda through the neck, hitting the other side. "Wow, that was amazing! He defeated the dragon!" says Raphtalia, celebrating a tad too soon. Midoriya steps back and the dragon keeps moving, some of the poison gas coming out of its throat. "I think I just made it worse. It's a zombie. I think we can't defeat it with melee attacks at random," says Midoriya, analyzing the situation. "Does anyone have any ideas?" Denki jumps back towards the dragon, keeping him distracted while the others discuss possible courses of action. Midoriya keeps an eye on the situation, assisting with the occasional airstrike shield. "I got it," says Camilla. "He's a Dragon Emperor. The thing that's keeping him moving is his Dragon Emperor core. In the zombified state he's in, it doesn't really matter how much we damage it, as long as the core is still intact." "Okay, then what do we do?" asks Midoriya. Camilla formulates a strategy and they execute it. Midoriya has to force the dragon back and pin him, then use the rope shield to restrain him to the ground. He jumps into the air, wanting to use air attacks to force the beast back. While in the air, he spots the dragon getting the best of Denki, wanting to munch on him. Seeing this unfold and panicking a bit, Midoriya thinks, "Crap! I have to do it now. I have to capture him now." He prepares to flick his fingers and attack the dragon, but black tendrils come out of his hand instead. They overwhelm Midoriya and start going around, hitting stuff at random, but they do restrain the dragon, keeping him in place. Raphtalia, Ake, and Blake, aided by the mage, slash the dragon's belly open, pulling the Emperor Dragon Core out. The dragon's animated corpse stops, and the corpse falls onto the ground dead. Midoriya keeps unleashing the power in all cylinders, not being able to control it. "You can stop now, Midoriya," says Ake. "We defeated the dragon." Midoriya has no control over the situation. His black whip starts going crazy, almost hitting Ake, but Raphtalia jumps in, pushing him out of the way. "Ah!" screams Midoriya in pain, trying to control his new power. "I don't think he has control over it anymore," says Raphtalia, concerned about her friend. "Shield prison!" shouts Midoriya, summoning the skill to trap himself, but the skill breaks apart moments after it was summoned. The group tries a couple of different things to try and stop him, but only manages to succeed when Denki shoots lightning at Midoriya, electrocuting him to the point that he passes out. Fast as he is, Denki then manages to catch Izuku before he hits the ground. They move him to the wagon where Camille and Raphtalia attend to him while Ake and Blake start breaking the dragon apart. Midoriya wakes back up in the dreamscape. There, he meets the 5th user of One for All, who explains the quirks to him. "Try harder, dude. If you do, things tend to work out. We're on a bit of a time limit here, so I'll keep it short," the 5th user of One for All, Deigoro Banjo, says. Midoriya looks at him confused, wanting to ask questions, but looks at his mouth, realizing it isn't there. "Alright, listen here, kid," says Deigoro. "The power you just used is not from the shield, it's my quirk. Throughout the generations, the quirk factors of the previous users have merged with the core of One for All. The core of One for All is small, but it has started growing, expanding. One for All itself is growing. But what caused this?" wonders Izuku. "Just now you wanted to capture the beast. One for All responded to your feelings and activated my quirk, Black Whip. From here on out you'll manifest 6 different quirks. They're going to be out of control because of that power that One for All has accumulated. After all, it has been through 8 users. Luckily or unluckily, you've been summoned to this world. It may have taken you away from our battle, but now you have time to train and hone the powers inside you before you return. Learn to master them and control your heart. Just know that if you wield your power in anger, the power will respond accordingly. As he says this, the fifth user puts his hand inside of Midoriya, unlocking the full capabilities of Black Whip before continuing. Control your heart and master us. Do your best, boy. We'll always be with you, no matter what world you find yourself in. You're going to be the one who completes One for All, Degoto Banjo says before vanishing. As the fifth user vanishes, Midoriya's surroundings change, and while he's still mostly missed, he now finds himself in a grass field. Where the fifth user stood, now stands another man, one who wields a shield. Well, that took longer than I thought. Honestly, didn't think that was even possible. Listen here, my name is Shirono Mamoru. Like me, you were summoned here as the shield hero in order to defend this world from... Oh, I see I don't have much time. I'll keep it short then. You must bring all the heroes together, not just the cardinal heroes though. You must stop the enemy in his vanguard before... The shield hero from the past manages to say before being engulfed in smoke and disappearing completely. Midoriya then wakes up to see Camilla is healing him. What happened? Asks Midoriya. You started using some sort of magic, Sir Hero. You went berserk. We did manage to defeat the dragon thanks to you though, says Camilla, relieved. Midoriya looks at Raftalia and asks, Everything okay? Did I hurt anyone? Everything's fine, answers Raftalia. It took us quite a bit of effort in order to defeat you, but your defenses were down since you were using your power. What about the corpse? Asks Midoriya. The knights and Denki are taking care of it right now, answers Raftalia. Let's go help then, says Midoriya while drinking a healing potion in order to fully recover. They go to assist in breaking the dragon apart. Midoriya feeds pieces of it into his shield, unlocking many new shields. Finding the dragon core on the floor, Midoriya breaks it apart, feeding some of it into the shield to unlock new shields, and storing the rest inside of it, since Camilla advised not to leave it out in the open. They grab what useful materials the dragon was made of and burn the rest, heading back to the village after. Raftalia was affected by the disease since she was in so close proximity for so long. Midoriya spent 2 days treating all the people in the village to make sure that the plague affecting them is taken care of. During the time that they spend there, Denki feels extremely bored, so he goes exploring. He comes across a cave where it seems that someone once lived. There are a couple of chests and leftovers there, but not much else. After a couple of days, the gang leaves the village, heading to a couple nearby areas to help out. They find some monsters and bandits in different towns that they fight off, heading back to the castle town once they are all done. Once they arrive back at the castle town, the three knights return to their jobs, selling the temporary equipment back to Erhard. They at least leveled up during this time. The two that stayed behind did some research. They informed Midoriya of a man looking for his merchandise safely returned from some bandits. Midoriya goes to the man and brokers a deal. The merchant Hickval guides them to the bandits' hideout and informs Midoriya of what he wants returned. Midoriya and company storm the bandits' hideout, swiftly taking all the bandits down, even the ones that went through the class upgrade. They return the merchant's possessions in return for the deed. Since they don't know who the other stuff belongs to, they end up dropping it off at the guard station along with the defeated bandits. Hickval thanks Midoriya for his help, paying Midoriya for his troubles and giving him the deed in order for him to obtain the magic stone he's looking for. Midoriya then heads to the magic shop, where he enlists the help of the witch who owns the shop in order to obtain the magic stone. Once they arrive at the quarry, they show the deed, getting permission to mine there. They grab a pickaxe and some other mining equipment, and because Midoriya wants to mine the materials himself and is looking for a specific mineral, he's directed to another side of the mountain, where mining hasn't started yet. There they find the base of an old alchemist who has long since passed. They go deep into the base, finding a tomb with a sealed box. The seal has been broken, however, and the contents taken. They go deeper into the cave, looking for the minerals they came for. However, on the way, they are swarmed by little bat-like monsters. Thanks to the witch, they manage to break out of the monster spell, defeating them, and they keep going deeper into the cave. After a couple of minutes of walking, they find a clearing inside the cave, with the Niue sleeping in the middle, guarding all the precious gemstones and crystals. They are of course forced to fight the Niue, but not without complications. After it's killed, Midoriya feeds the materials to the shield and starts mining the gems around. He feeds the first few gemstones into a shield, unlocking new features that increase the quality of the ones he mines after. They get out of the cave with an abundance of gems, enough to fix the spinning wheel and sell or use them as they see fit. They head back to the castle town where they fix the magic spinning wheel, using it to make Denki's magic thread. You're finally going to have some proper clothes, buddy, not just that cloak that you keep having to remove when you transform, says Midoriya. Yay, says Denki. Well, I kinda like my cloak. After obtaining the magic thread, the group heads to the tailor, where they make Denki some clothes. The next day, the group retrieves the now ready clothes and Denki tries them on. He steps out of the changing room wearing a white shirt with mid-long sleeves and some blue overalls. On top of that, he has red pockets. After finally getting Denki some clothes after only 3 weeks of trying, the group heads to the Adventurers Guild, getting a couple more missions and quests. They set off to help the people in need. And that is the end of that episode. This is the second time I record this episode because I was very unhappy with the way the previous script came out. It had them actually find the dragon being alive. I will put a link to the audio file in the description in case anyone wants to hear it. Episode 7B. But, well, technically this one is 7B and that one would be 7A. But I don't like the way that one ended at all. Honestly, it had Midoriya and Ren fighting together and a bunch of other stuff. It was a cool idea, but continuity-wise, it wouldn't have fit. Plus, they kind of orphaned the girl in the process because of reasons in continuity and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why I did that. I've been kind of rushed to do all this stuff, doing one video every 2 days, which is why this video is 2 days late. Only 2 days, because I said, okay, I have the one that was supposed to come out today ready, so I'm going to post it before the one before. Yeah, I did the whole thing where I switched them up because I wasn't happy and need more time to work on this video. I've been kind of rushed with stuff. Next video is going to probably return to normal continuity. They have to find Melty now, because that needs to happen. I don't know, I'm sticking too much to continuity. I feel like I wanted to make these adventures different, but it ended up being this. It happens earlier, though, and are out of order. They'll probably end up going to the other village, although that will only be an overview. The one where Moroyasu tried to help, and stuff like that. I'm kind of really stressed here. I'm not able to commit to all my plans. I want to start doing more stuff, but at the same time, I'm very limited on resources and manpower because it's only me. So, but I am doing my best. I do have the objective of getting to 10K before the year ends, and that's going to be hard, especially at the current rate. So, don't forget to share, like, all that stuff, and yeah, I want to do more Shield Hero stuff soon. You can also check out my Discord in the description below, where you can find out about updates and all that stuff to the channel. I also want to start doing more stuff, like change my avatar a bit, my profile picture and stuff, which has been the same for a while. I want to change it up a bit, but I need time to work on it, which is what I'm probably going to do in my vacation, which I'm taking soon. So, hope you guys all enjoy this video. I've been rambling a bit. This is the only time I really get to talk to you guys, like my voice. So yeah, in case you want to watch the 7B, it's in the description. Check my Discord, that's also down there. We are always happy to have more people. I have recently restructured the way it works and want to see more people there. So yeah, have an absolutely fantastic day, everyone. Bye!